Welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to awaken your divine soul and open your human heart. Sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and learn. Here's Sara.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. So happy to be with you here in June 2018 as we are moving toward summer solstice very, very soon before summer solstice arrives. And you can kind of feel it if you're outside. You can kind of feel this, the way the sun is, the way the nights are. It takes a very long time to get to nighttime. There is just light, and more light. And so we come to this longest day of the year very, very soon. I believe it's, sometimes people say it's the 20th, sometimes people say it's the 21st. I have been traveling so much, I kind of don't even know what day it is, but I've had the great joy of coming out and meeting so many of you guys in Seattle and Portland. And then I just recently got back from a pretty extensive, busy trip in Denver at the International New Age Trade Show. I was able to meet in person Don Jose Ruiz, who has a new book out, and Prevali, who's out of Seattle, who's doing her Sacred Wealth Code. And that was just a great delight. And then I was able to meet a lot of people who I've met over the years in this international New Age community that takes place in Denver every year. Did a lot of events, did a couple concerts. But the main thing that's so coming back, I'm sort of, when you get back from a trip and you have to put all your laundry in the suitcase, out of the suitcase, and kind of regroup. And so I am just now being able to take that breath and go outside and feel what it feels like to be on the earth as part of this solstice that is coming. People in the UK, people all over the world are celebrating this great tradition of this day of the most light, the longest light. And I'm going to be sending out a newsletter with a little ritual that you can do for your own solstice to make it magical. I've done solstice with lots of people. I've done it by myself. I've done it with a ritual. I've done it with nothing. There's really no proper way to do it, but it's a very good marker of how we are when we are bathed, like as beings on the planet. We are bathed in light for the most amount of time, than the most amount of time on that particular day of solstice than any other time of the year. So it's a wonderful time to connect with all the light that is there. And remember that you're an animal, you're a being, you're a living being creature on this earth, and everything is being affected all at once. Today we're going to talk about, do you allow yourself to really feel, which is a subject that I am deeply interested in. And it's also, of course, Free Readings Tuesday, and you can call in to 888-298-5569. That's 888-298-5569. And really, whatever is on your mind, whatever you'd like to look into, I'm very open to. If you are having spiritual experiences that you don't have a place to talk about with amongst the people that you know, if you have questions about what's going on in your own life, really whatever the conversation is that is of interest to you. For me, just so recently being in so much spiritual community, again doing this tour, and coming across beings over and over again who are really conscious and really in tune with the whole spiritual metaphysical realm. A lot of people have been doing it for decades, or they're new to the path, but they're deeply interested. And what I can sometimes forget is that, it's that idea of talking to the choir, but there are so many of you out there listening right now who are, maybe it's uncomfortable for you to talk about this with your family or your friends, or maybe you're just diving into this spiritual journey that you're just starting. Maybe you're just starting to have this awakening that's been happening for you. And it can be difficult when you're just starting, because a lot of times in the mainstream society, this isn't conversation that is readily held. And so being able to talk about things that are going on in your life, odd things, synchronicities, maybe guides are coming to you, maybe you're having intuitive insights, maybe your psychic skills are opening, maybe you're just feeling really like you no longer fit into your previous life. And all these are things to bring into and find spiritual community. And if you can't find it, in the place where you are, it's a great idea to call in. So again, free readings Tuesday, 888-298-5569, 888-298-5569. So again, we're talking about this idea of, do you allow yourself to really feel? And this subject is of great interest to me because I am quite a reserved person in terms of my emotional expression. I like to stay in a state of balance, personal balance. I like to stay in a state of more of a quiet place, more of an introverted place, which is what a lot of you guys are also like. And so what happens when you're a person who prefers to be more, stepped back a little in your daily life? You don't like to make a lot of waves. You don't like to be getting into it with people. You just like to have sort of less drama, just kind of moving through really, really easily. I often use the phrase flying under the radar. I like to fly under the radar in my life and just kind of move through in a real gentle way. But what happens when things come up? What happens when things come up and things happen where feeling is required? Things happen where feeling is required. How do you navigate that if you're a person that maybe doesn't like to feel a lot of drama, or that doesn't like to feel a lot of feelings? Because sometimes when we start to feel our emotions, it is incredibly uncomfortable. We get the sense of anxiety. We feel out of balance. When emotions come in, they shift our hormones, they shift our adrenaline. And it can be very interesting to have this flood of feeling come through. And it's almost sometimes like we feel like we're ill, or like we can't manage it, or like it's too much. So how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this idea that we want to be peaceful and calm and in this state of balance? And yet there are absolutely things that are going to come into our world that are going to make us feel even beautiful feelings, wonderful feelings are sometimes overwhelming to the system. So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with that? I remember once there was one Christmas where, this was many, many years ago in Seattle. One Christmas morning, I got engaged to my first husband, and on the same Christmas morning, my dad gave me this very, 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 very shabby old car to have as mine. It was a very shabby old car, but I was thrilled. I was thrilled to have, I think it might have been a Pinto, actually. So anyway, I got engaged and I received a free Pinto all in the same morning. And even though these were just like wonderful, 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 happy events and happy occasions, it was too much for me. It just made me feel sort of anxious and jittery, as if it were too much feeling coming in, And then another time, just coming back from Denver, when I reviewed everything I'd done, I realized that I had so much feeling in terms of getting ready for one event, and then the adrenaline would shoot up, the anxiety of getting ready, and then the doing the event, and then the kind of come down from the concert that we had done. And then the next day there was another one, the adrenaline of getting ready for a workshop, and then doing the workshop and having all that focus and attention, and then boom, the adrenaline. A lot of feelings, a lot of up and down feelings that whole weekend. How to navigate those. And for me, what I find is just a matter of going up and dropping down. And in fact, it's almost easier to have that buildup than to have that feeling of just being completely drained and having to regroup. And as all you introverts out there all know this, you have to almost like regroup your adrenaline by just several hours of being quiet or having alone time. So how does this all work? Is there a way that we can get through? Is there a way that we can feel and be passionate and live passionate, emotionally connected lives, and live lives where we're doing exciting things and just not allowing it to reach overwhelm, So I just want you to, we're going to go to the phones in just a second, but I want you to just go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I just want you to go back in your mind to the time when you felt the most emotionally open, when you were feeling things. It could be anger, it could be joy, it could be whatever you want to go back to. Just go back to that event, and I want you to feel how you felt then. Just want you to feel it. Maybe you felt sad, or maybe you felt happy. Maybe you felt disturbed. Maybe you felt uncomfortable. Maybe you felt so much love. It made your heart ache. So much love. And I just want you to go there. And then I just want you to allow yourself to expand this feeling. Expand this feeling. And just allow yourself to have it. Just take that feeling and put it in your heart for a moment. Just say, yes, this was my feeling. This is what I had, and I accept it. I accept it. Whether it's negative, positive, different, new, whatever it is for you. I just want you to hold that in there, that accepted feeling, the allowing yourself to have that moment, accepting that emotion. Just going to hold that in there. I am going to take a quick break, and when I get back, we're going to go right to the phones. You are listening to Ask Sara. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to answering our callers. I'll be right back in just a moment with more Ask Sara. Angels are gathering around me, rocking around me, rolling around me. Angels are gathering around me, flipping around me, tripping around me. Angels are gathering around me, pressing around me, crowding around me. Angels are gathering.
Ready to learn the secrets of spiritual intuition? Did you know that Sara Wiseman offers over 20 courses in psychic development, soul growth, karma, healing, past lives, and more? And that they're all sliding scale, pay what you want? These premium online courses are self-study, so you can work on your own schedule. Sign up for Sara's courses now at sarawiseman.com. That's SARA Wiseman.com.
Alternative Talk 1150, online at 1150kknw.com.
Hush, hush, my child, and they say angels are gathering around me, rocking around me, rolling around me. Angels are gathering around me, flipping around me, tripping around me. Angels are gathering around me.
All right, we are back with more Ask Sara. And we're going to go to the phones where we have Kathy calling from Syracuse. Kathy, welcome to the program.
Hi, Sara. Thank you.
Yes,
and
thank you.
What can I agree with everything you've said?
Good. Yes, the feeling our feelings does not always make us feel good, even if they're good feelings. So yeah. So what's going on for you?
Well, I'm at a loss right now. I need to find a place to live, and I'm crossed between family and friend, and I don't know where to go or when it's going to happen.
Are you needing to move somewhere? Is something like you can't stay where you are? Is something's closing down, or yeah? So I see. It's not really what you would prefer, but I think that if you look at it this way and kind of have this expectation, it'll make it easier for you. So it feels like there's a couple different, like you stay at one place for a little while, maybe with family, and then you stay somewhere else for a little while, and then finally on the third shuffle, you are kind of finding your space, but just expecting that it's not going to be you're finding one permanent place right away. It's almost like the first place doesn't really work out that great, and then the second place, it's maybe temporary. So if you go into it thinking of it that way, does that help you at all? I mean, knowing that it's going to be some shifts and changes as you find your way.
Yeah, that's what's been happening, but I need to find my own place right away. So. Yeah,
I don't think you're going to find your own place immediately. I think you're going to be living with some other people at least through the summer, like two different spots. So, it's interesting because the universe makes us do things that we don't want to do, and sometimes we don't know why, but I could see possibly that maybe there's some reason it's important you live with family members for a little bit of time, so that maybe some things get resolved or worked out differently. Do you feel like you have unfinished business with some family members?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So it's almost like the universe is kind of forcing close quarters where if you weren't in this situation, you wouldn't have to look at those issues, but you're sort of being asked to look at those issues again. Yeah. And so family member seems the first place you say, and then the second seems like a friend. Do you know who the friend might be?
Yes, I have a friend. That's my point, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I see is like the first is a family member, the second time spent is with a friend, and then you find your own place. So it's sort of like you're embarking on a journey. And I would say that this will take place over, I would say that you'll be kind of in this uprooted, not really sure where you are until the end of August, and then things will settle. So be trusting, Kathy. This isn't a bad thing. It feels kind of like a bad thing, but it actually turns out to be something that opens you up quite a bit, and almost again that idea of forces you to look at some things that need to be worked on. It's actually kind of a gift, so look at it that way. Anyway, Kathy, thank you for calling in. We appreciate your call.
Okay, thank you, and I love listening to you.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful. So yeah, the universe is tricky that way. We just think we know what we're doing, and then we are forced to do stuff that we never thought we would do, and then it turns out that that is exactly what we needed to open ourselves up, to push our edge, to grow and expand by changing our habits and patterns. Alrighty, let us go to the phones, and we have Cynthia calling from Seattle. Cynthia, welcome.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's on your mind?
So I've been, I just started looking for a job. My husband passed away 8 months ago, so now I'm looking for a job. And so I've been doing a lot of soul writing and certain things, and I guess I'm just trying to figure out where I should look for a job. I'm presently looking back, like in corporate America and project management, where I was at, but I'm doing all this soul writing, and it sometimes doesn't resonate. But I'm feeling like it would be good to work and at least have what I knew before, because I do have a lot of emotions still missing my husband.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there's a couple parts to this. Do you feel that you have to do full-time work, or can you do part-time work?
I probably could do part-time work for a little bit. That I will need more money eventually. Yeah, but I could probably do part-time work for 3 months.
Yeah. So that's kind of like it will be too much of a shock to the system to just jump into a full-time thing. It's almost like you're in too tender of a place with your grieving to be that busy. And so easing into some part-time, like 20 hours, that's going to even seem like a lot. It's going to seem almost impossible to do some days. But that will kind of get that, stamina back of what it's like to be working, every day somewhere. So that's the first place. And so do that and just trust, like maybe there's some situations where you can start part-time and then they're going to ask you to work full-time, and it feels like something like that. It does not feel like you change companies. It's more like you just start and then they're like, please work full-time. You're wonderful. So it's you find a good company and you just stay with them, but easing in would be really smart for you. The other thing is, and I know you're in a state of healing, but what I'm getting from the guides is that like you need to be like the boss. Were you in boss type roles before, or leadership personality style before?
Yeah, yes, in some ways, yeah, because I was running projects, so I was the lead person in them. Yeah.
Yeah. So even more so, like, even though you did that before as lead person, because of the way you've grown and shifted
Right.
in yourself, you are the super boss now. Like, no one can be in charge of you. And you just gotta like really understand. You need a position that gives you tons of leeway, tons
Okay.
of self. What is that? So you run your own schedule, you run your own team. You're in charge. So as you're doing this interviewing, anything that's coming up as like you have to be the subordinate to somebody, no, you just like you have to be the head honcho at. And anyway, yeah, and it also feels like, yeah, it seems like it also could be nonprofit. Does not seem like it seems like the company is going to really understand who you are. They're going to really understand your need to be the boss of your own team or project or whatever it is. And they seem fairly forward thinking. And that's where it feels like it's either nonprofit or something like, a very modern style company.
Okay.
Yeah. So try that and kind of just ease into it, and also just know how much you've grown. And I think that will help you out. As for you're grieving your husband, I don't have any great words. It feels like that's just going to take time, and you're doing a very good job in a very difficult place, and find people to support who have been in, and who can help you understand it because they've been through it too, and it will ease over time, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Cynthia, I think you're on the right track, and just take it slow and know who you are would be my words for you on this particular thing. And it won't take very long to get something. So,
Okay.
Wait till after the like give yourself some vacation, like, because it's going to happen pretty quick. It'll happen before end of July for sure, maybe even mid-July. So, just know it'll be pretty quick. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for
helpful.
calling. Yeah. I appreciate your call. Yeah. When people have been doing, you do one thing and then you try and go back to it, but it's sort of like, you can't go home again the same way. We change and we grow. And so like in Cynthia's case, she has become so powerful in herself that what she used to do isn't going to be big enough. And so respecting that for all of you guys out there listening, like, think about who you were and think about who you are now and all the growth. So you don't want to accept what you would have accepted 10 years ago or 5 years ago, because you're not that person anymore. You want to be challenging who you are now. You want to be feeding that person, not the person from the past. Alrighty, so today is Free Readings Tuesday. You can call in to 888-298-5569. That's 888-298-5569. Lines are open. So if you call in now, you will get through. And we have Melissa calling from Kirkland. Melissa, welcome.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for your patience. What's on your mind today?
Well, actually, it was kind of what you were describing, in the sense that I've changed a real lot, and I consciously got rid of the way things were in terms of work and my life and just everything. And I don't want to use the word lost. It feels very awkward, and I'm just wondering if you have any insight into the future, because it's a big pause.
Yeah. So I don't know if you were listening at the beginning of that show, but that idea of we change so much, like we don't fit into our old life. And it feels like, yeah. So did you end relationships or have big shiftings away? Okay.
it's more on in every other realm, but my relationship with my husband is lovely.
Okay, so it's all the things around that. I feel like there's going to be not with your husband, but I feel like there's more. Even though it feels like how could you shake up any more than you've already done, it feels like there is some more. There's like some more letting go of. It's almost like not your setting, but it's what I'm getting is like it's your identities. It's like you almost need to do a ritualistic or sitting down with yourself and going over your identities and just checking like, do I even have this identity anymore? Or what about this one? And almost like making a list of what those are and sitting down with yourself and realizing how few identities you have left, which is wonderful. That's the point, to get to a point where you don't have any identities. Yeah, I mean, so like you might retain, okay, I want to be wife still, and I want to be, whatever it is for you. But a lot of them are just not there. I was in Denver for the weekend doing an event, and the hotel we stayed in was filled with like all these kids lacrosse teams with their parents at some kind of tournament. And I was just staring at it going, that used to be my life, not with lacrosse, but with youth soccer. And I was just staring at like the women thinking, I used to be that. That was my identity, And it was very interesting to see it put up as a mirror and to see, well, that's not who I am now. There's something about that for you, like going back to who you were and going, oh yeah, that's just so done. That's not me at all anymore. And just really claiming it. What do you think you're going toward? What do you think you're going toward right now?
I honestly, I don't, it is really just a pause. I can't even, that's why I called the show, because it just feels so, I've always had goals and all sorts of stuff I've accomplished and loved it, and have now let go of them because I no longer loved it, and I just said, okay, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I have no clue. I really don't.
Yeah.
I have not one inch of clue.
Well, and I think that this pause phase is going to last a while, because it's the same, what I'm seeing. It's like there's no, I don't see any particular path. It's more like you're just being. And that can be super frustrating if you're a person who in the past did a lot of goals. But It just seems like you're not even wandering. You're just kind of like in place, kind of going, wow. just sort of integrating everything that's happened. So I think that this might take, and I don't want to scare you, but it feels like it might take through 2019 to be out of this rest phase.
Okay.
So you might want to just think about what you would enjoy as opposed to what you want to do.
I'm not looking so much what I want to do as to, something that I really would resonate and feel really good.
Yeah. So I think just think about what sounds fun, and don't even like put any pressure of like, just what would be fun. I like kayaking, but I'm not going to become a kayak expert, right? It's just fun. Simple things like that. Simple. And then just
enjoy.
Yeah, just enjoy in a non-ambitious way. And then after you've had enough of that, the next thing will unfold, but it feels like you need some time to just unwind and reset. So
yeah. Just embrace
good.
it.
Yep, that's good. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah, Melissa talks about this idea of on the big pause. We have our lives are like, these waves. Sometimes we're really, really busy and in it and doing, and this might happen for years. And then sometimes we bottom bottom out into a trench or a low point. And it's not that the low point is negative. It's almost like a time in which we integrate everything we've done before. And if we attempt to skip this pause place, then we don't really go forward at all. We might continue doing goals and so forth, but we don't integrate, and so we don't grow. It's like activity, and then the pause to integrate, and activity, and the pause to integrate. Without that integration piece, we can't figure it out right. We're just chugging along. All right, let us go to the phones again. Free Readings Tuesday, 888-298-5569, and the lines are open. And we have on the phone Patty calling from Wisconsin. Patty, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Hi, what's going on for you?
Hi, Sarah. First off, I really liked the reading or the message that you sent across with your book with Mind for Movies. That was really a good show. And then, so what's going on in my life is that I've lost my nephew, who was actually like a son to me back in October of 2016. And I've been having some issues going on ever since. And I want to know when it's going to clear up or when it's going to be done, or how much longer am I going to be in this phase of my life, because it's really stressing me out.
Yeah. Are you working with anybody on depression? Have you talked to your doctor, or are you working with anybody about that idea that you might be depressed?
I am working with my psychiatrist, yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, it feels like to me that in 2016, you kind of had this grief, but it also kind of brought back like every other grief or trauma in your whole life. Like something about the loss of your nephew brought all your loss forward. And
I like my mom and my sister. Okay.
Yeah, it just brought it all forward, and this sense of hopelessness came up for you. And so it's like this was a trigger event that brought all the other events back. Almost like, do you feel that you grieved properly for the other people that passed before your nephew? Or what did you think about your grieving then?
Well, with my mom, I had just turned 15, so I think I had grieved enough. But I mean, I still missed her because she died at the time when I needed her the most.
Yeah.
And my sister, she passed when she was 26. I was like 24, 25. And I had, my 3 young kids, and then her one child lived with me. And so I kind of took it where that, and I was taking care of her as well, and I took it where that she's in a better place, and so I can get on with my life. I don't have to worry about her anymore.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any remaining sisters? They were just the two.
I have one remaining sister and one brother.
Okay.
And my dad is still alive.
Yeah. So your family was sort of broken in a very permanent way when you were still really just finding your place as to who you were. How old was your nephew when he passed?
He was 28 a week from 29.
Okay. So he was still in that range, very similar to how your sister was.
Correct.
So, yeah. Well, and what's your relationship to your sister and your brother right now, your living sister and brother?
Okay, my brother lives at my house, and my sister lives about an hour away.
Mm-hmm. And are you on good terms with her?
I am. We just don't have a lot of time to talk because she works the afternoon, evenings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at home all day, but she has her time. She's got her work to go to, so I can't always contact her at the times when I want to contact her.
Yeah.
She's at work.
So I think that there's something that needs to be kind of worked out with your brother and your sister and you. For some reason, your dad isn't involved in this, but I would almost, like my family's fairly spread out because people live in different places. And so we've started having these family reunions. It's just a small family, but we set the dates and times so that everyone can go. And then we just have some time together. And it feels like there needs to be a gathering of you and your brother and your sister in which you sort of talk about your mom and your other sister and that loss. And if one of them doesn't want to do that, then go with the one who does. But it feels like it's your sister. There's got to be some things. It's almost like you need to just do this more grieving together. That's the piece. Like you need to be connected with them in order to do this. Just see if you can arrange that with them. And you might also, I have that course, Heal Your Family Karma, which kind of relates because one of the 7 wounds is abandonment, and you've kind of not abandoned on purpose, but kind of you were abandoned by your mom and your sister. And that wound of abandonment is what is affecting you. So that might be useful. But for some reason, the healing takes place with your brother and your sister. And what it is again, it's kind of like the topic of the show. It's like you're just going to get together and you're just going to feel it and grieve it again. And that's going to help shift things. And I think if you can get that done, even though it sounds very uncomfortable and horrible at the moment, that will bring some healing and be a step towards coming out of this trough that you've been in.
Okay.
Anyway, Patty,
my brother and sister are not talking though, because my brother won't accept her apology.
Yeah, see, yes, there you go. So this has to you guys need to heal up together, the 3 of you. That is going to be the thing that brings you out of this. So.
Okay, and then I think there's something going on too with one of my daughter-in-laws. Yeah,
she's not part of this soul circle of you and your brother and your sister needing to heal your mom and your other sister. It's just the 3 of you.
Okay, but anyway, I think there's something wrong with that one too. It's a separate entity. But she's not involved in this though. She's not a part of the soul circle there. Patty, you might also check that course, Heal Your Family Karma. This is right up the alley. I think that might be good for you too. Anyway, it's going to get better. You're on your way. The worst is actually over, so you are coming up again. Anyway, thank you for calling. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Alrighty, it looks like we also have Audrey calling from Michigan. Audrey, welcome to the program.
Hi, Sarah?
Hi, yes. What can I help you out with today?
Thanks for having me on the show. I'm glad I got through. I'm in need of guidance regarding my new website and career, and I've been debating on whether returning to a side job. I'm not really sure what's blocking me here, but I just want to keep moving forward in my life. So I don't know if there's I wrote kind of everything out. It might just take a couple minutes just to kind of give you the skinny on what's been happening.
Yeah, actually, I don't really need that. What I'm getting right now is, if you take the side job. So, I do have one question. Is finances? Are you in a desperate predicament where you have to take the side job, or can you make your way a little bit further with how things are going?
I have about, the thing is that we have to move. And I decided to move across the state to just a better, I feel like is better opportunity, better community, better cost of living. And I just kind of felt I should go that way instead of back to my hometown, and not stay where I'm presently at. But I have about because I have to put down deposit and rent, I have maybe about 1 to 2 months of living, and I'm done.
Okay.
I'm out of money.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I've been trying to get my new website going, and there's trouble with that, obviously, for the past couple months. And I've had trauma after trauma with job experiences, even one where a woman was injuring my health. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I kind of feel like she may have done something to even endanger my life. So I have PTSD. Part of it is from this. And I just don't know if I can handle another job like this. And I decided back in January to quit altogether and just get my website up and going as fast as I can, and just heal from what I've been through in the past year, and just strengthening myself and doing self-care about 2.5 hours a day just to keep me stable and keep moving forward.
So here's a couple things that are coming up. One is, this is really not about, it's not about you starting your own business. It's more about you learning how to be in your own power in the world and in your own business. Over time, you're running your own business from the website is going to work out fine, but it's not the solution. And I think that you're going to be resistant to this idea right now. That's okay. But what I'm getting is, it's like having your own business. It feels like to you, it feels like you won't have to deal with all this stuff. You can just kind of be in a more relaxed, protected state.
Right.
But in fact, but what they're saying is no, this issue follows you. This issue follows you of you sort of feeling attacked because the lesson that you're working on is standing up for your own power. And so regardless of where you're going to go, if you're working for someone else, if you're whatever town you're in, if you have your own business, anything, it's all about that third chakra, you being in your power, not being afraid of other people. So instead of letting other people push you around, you are in charge of yourself. And I want to say, it's not like you're particularly weak. This is just a growth passage that a lot of people move through. I went through it years ago. I would have people just scamming me and yelling at me, just horrible, awful. And it was because I was too, I would just always give in, right? And so my lesson, same as you're learning now, I had to step into my power. So that's the big lesson. Once you crack that code, everything is smooth for you. You never have to do this lesson again. So instead of trying to hide out, figure out some people that can, I think it would be really good for you to join some kind of those networker groups where people support you in your business, and try trail along with people that know how to be in their own power, and just watch what they're doing. And that is going to be, you're going to be able to crack this through pretty quick, but that's the real thing that's going on. So
I guess
anyway, Audrey,
my issue is I just unravel. It's like I try to stand up for myself, and then there's just claws that come out, and they try to get me fired. And it's like, how do I earn a living when people are trying to get me fired?
Yep. So you're going to have to...
Because I use my voice and stand up for myself. I don't know if I need to go stand up directly to them, but sometimes when I've done that, it backfails, and they twist the truth around, and they go to the supervisor, and then I'm the new person, and then I get thrown under the bus, and I don't know if they can give me guidance on what to really do in these situations because I'm scared to death.
Yeah. So you need to find a way to act differently in the way you stand up for yourself, and that's going to be your journey. Okay, Audrey, I need to let you go because our show's about to end, and I have a couple things I need to say to folks, but you're going to work through it, so good luck to you.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Everybody, we're talking about, do you allow yourself to really feel? And back in that meditation, we had everybody look at a time when they felt something. Maybe it was positive, maybe it was negative. And I want you to just go back to that. And I just want you to just feel not afraid of emotions. And just feel that if you allow the sadness, or some of the callers today had a lot of grief, some people had a lot of anxiety, if you just allow yourself to feel it fully, and here's the key. The key is that we allow ourselves to have all the feelings that we have, that we just let the feelings come in. We accept them. We don't feel bad. Oh no, I'm feeling anxiety. That makes me bad. No, I'm feeling anxiety. Okay, got that going on. Oh, I'm feeling grief. I'm still feeling grief. Yes, I'm still feeling grief. I'm angry still. Still you're angry? I'm still angry. And just allow those feelings. And then I want you to, in your mind, when these feelings come, I'd like you to start this practice of calling in the universe, or calling in a guide, for those of you who know how to do that. I'm just allowing the guide, or just allowing the universe to support you. I sometimes have the visualization of lying back on a giant mountain that is the universe supporting me, or standing with the guide and having my hands holding the guide's hands, and just feeling that feeling fully until it dissipates. And this might take sometimes, if you're very angry, it might take an hour. I feel angry, and then suddenly you don't. If you're feeling anxiety, I'm anxious, and then suddenly you're not. But calling in that divine presence as a way of centering you, and as a way of lifting your vibration to another place. So you feel the feeling, you start to freak out, but you allow it, and you accept it. And then you attach to divine energy. Whatever way you want to do this, you can breathe, you can call in your guides, you can just say, universe, please support me. And you just allow this other presence, this presence of the divine universe, source, God, higher vibration, elevated consciousness. You bring in that other expansive vibrational aspect, and you allow that to lift you. Guys, I hope that you all have a copy of my new book, Messages from the Divine. It's just out. You can get it on Amazon or pretty much anywhere. Wonderful, wonderful teachings in that book. That's what we're working on all these next couple months, as we're going to go through the book and talk about some of the ideas there. Today we talked about, do you allow yourself to really feel? The more you feel, the more you allow yourself to feel, just acknowledge it, the better you feel. Just starts to clear out all that repressed stuff, all that ego control. It's called Messages from the Divine, Wisdom for the Seeker Soul, 66 lessons, 66 exercises, transformative. And plus, there's a free course to go along with it. So you can find it all at sarawiseman.com. Have a wonderful solstice, and look forward to being with you next week. You've been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman.
Want more of Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman? Tune in weekly for more divine teachings on living a soul-led life. Want Sara's books, courses, and free gifts? Visit SaraWiseman.com.